I started investing in stocks about 10 years ago, and I was incapable of doing the analysis myself. I thought it's time to get serious. I basically took Christophe's original template and then supplemented it with the rest of the course. So, I have a method, which I never had before.
Okay, hello everybody. I am with Roger today, and we are going to talk about his experience with the coaching program. Roger joined us a few months ago, and his change has been huge. There is a clear before and after story. So, Roger, can you please take a moment to introduce yourself, please?
Okay, my name is Roger. I'm Canadian. I've lived and worked in France and in Europe for a long time and elsewhere. I started investing in stocks about 10 years ago. Started doing value investing at the beginning, eventually switched to micro caps. Neither of these strategies were working well for me, to say the least.
Yep.
And then I thought, given my age profile, it's time to get serious and move to a GARP/ quality compounding strategy, which is really the core strategy that Christophe pursues. So it was a good fit from the start.
You buy high quality businesses and you let them do the work. Do you remember your situation you were in before joining this coaching program?
Well, I think ultimately, if I look back on the 10 years of investing, the biggest struggle was I used to rely on investment theses written by other people and not by me, which means, in fact, that you're just trusting them to have done that analysis correctly. And inevitably, they never did. So, A, you're picking up all their errors and you're paying for it in your returns. And B, you don't really ever have conviction because you've not done the hard work yourself. So the key is if you do the work yourself and not just rely on someone else, then ultimately you've understood what the thesis is, whether it's good or not, and that allows you to invest with confidence and to be much more relaxed about your investments. So it's no longer a roll of the dice depending on someone else. That is the sort of the fundamental advantage of the coaching. It gives you the tools and the skills to be reasonably independent and to make your own judgment.
Before joining us, you were investing in companies that you didn't know much about, and we've worked on a framework together to do the proper analysis, right? Step 1, step 2, step 3. So you can only invest in quality companies, how to know the analysis properly, how to not fall into traps. You now know how to properly analyze a stock. Some people can't do this in many years, and in a couple of months, you have done it. So congratulations. I wanted to congratulate you publicly on this.
And in fact, the coaching tools allowed me to analyze a stock that I owned and eventually decide to sell it because it wasn't delivering. And I knew why. Before, I never knew why, because no one had done the analysis for me and I was incapable of doing the analysis myself. So it's not always just a case of doing the analysis and buying a new stock. It's also looking at what you have and realizing that it's not working out. So it's a bit like a moratorium on the stocks that you want to get rid of. And that's hard because you have to figure out what's not working.
So before you were relying on other people's opinions to give you fish. Now you know how to fish, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think at a high level, I was not a beginner because I knew the basic fundamentals of how many stocks and these kinds of issues. So I had some thoughts about this subject, but I certainly lacked these technical skills to read the financial statements, to figure out what matters and what doesn't, how to do the ratios, and then how to put it all together. And that's the quantitative side, and also even to build on the qualitative side in terms of things like, does the company have a moat? Very simple stuff. But most people don't do it because most people don't do the analysis. They just watch videos and go on tips. It's a question of education, and the reality is it's very hard to get this education in the right place. It's not self-evident. You can read books, you can watch videos, you can read articles, but you're never going to be able to pull it together by yourself.
It will be extremely difficult, and it will take years and years of mistakes and mistakes.
Yeah. Christophe has an advantage because he was a former analyst and he did a master's in accounting. So he already had a lot of the fundamentals.
The program is a group program. We have plenty of people all around the globe. Did you like being in a group? What did being in a group bring you?
You know, some of the people have been investing for decades in the coaching program. So they bring a lot to the table just in terms of the knowledge of the companies that they have. But they lack, I think, the structure and the discipline in terms of doing the evaluation. So they still need to get the tools. They need structure fundamentally. In my case, that's what the course has given me. It's given me a method, a strategy, and a structure, and someone to challenge my views.
Can you maybe elaborate a little bit on how has this coaching program changed your vision you had, your investing process overall?
Well, it's allowed me to basically figure out what a high quality compounder is in the first place, how to crunch through the numbers and the ratios to verify that, and then do the qualitative analysis as well. I mean, when you think about it, it's really quite amazing that someone of your age could have acquired this level of skills. I mean, I'm always amazed at the amount of actual information Christophe gives away in his videos. Nobody's that transparent.
By the way, why did you choose me and you joined my coaching program instead of another one?
You know, it's a relatively rare to find Christophe actually out there. I can't think of anyone that's even close, to be honest, in terms of doing some things at such a high level with such a small group. I mean, you can get courses where you can go on and you just look through the materials by yourself. This is possible. This I've seen. Or the communication is very bad because it's just sent by text, you know, and the coach is doing all the talking, and then there's just a few obscure questions, but it doesn't work. You have to be face to face, as we say, you know, and Christophe is pretty available because he's so enthusiastic about what he does. So if you ask a question, chances are he's genuinely interested in it.
Would you recommend this coaching program to another one? If so, why and to whom? Any profile in particular?
I think people who already are reasonably seasoned investors, but realize that they're lacking, usually they're lacking in the financial skills, right? The balance sheet, reading the financial statements, understanding the ratios, understanding what matters and what doesn't. That's the fun, and having a tight process to move forward. I mean, at the end of the day, I basically took Christophe's original template and then supplemented it with the rest of the course. So, you know, I have a method, which I never had before.